Hello class. So today we're going to go over the organizational paper assignment. What the organizational paper assignment is hopefully it's the opportunity for you to take a lot of what you've learned from the frame analysis that you've been both learning about from the book and discussing in the discussion board and forum posts. And what I want you to do is I want you to select an organization that you could potentially be a part of or are a part of, one or the other. And I want you to pick one of the frames and I want you to analyze that particular organization from the frame that you've chosen that talks about what you think you could do with this paper. So in a nutshell, what you're looking to do is you want to identify an organization that you could or are a part of. And if it's that you could be a part of it, hopefully it's projecting and showing you what you want to do with your degree, where you want to go, what kind of organization you would like to use your newfound college experience to be able to provide for you, or if it's one that you're already a part of, why did you choose that? So you'll be answering it in future or in present tense on the basis of what kind of organization that you select. I'd highly recommend going with one that you could be in the future rather than one that you're currently in, but I leave that available to people who are struggling, and so that way they don't become unable to complete the assignment or hit a big stumbling block that just doesn't need to be there. You will only be writing the paper for this assignment. In the traditional class that we have, I have the students give a presentation in addition to the paper. However, obviously, since we can't upload the material to create a virtual public of sorts, I won't be having you give presentations. Instead, I just want you to highlight and focus on writing the paper. The paper is going to be evaluated and worth 100 points. I think ultimately what I would do if I were in your position is mirror that of a 5-paragraph essay. I want an introduction that tells me what you're going to do, that gets me interested in the subject matter. And then the 3 main points that I would choose would look like this. Tell me something about yourself, tell me about the organization, and then merge the two. Why do you fit within that organization? So we'll take it step by step. First, about you. I give a list of questions here, but most importantly, it's if somebody asks you what skills you possess, I'd like to hear what your answer is. Now, I say this is a 5-paragraph essay, but it won't literally translate to 5 paragraphs. What I mean is that based on the structure, you'll have 3 main points. The main points might be many paragraphs each, some of them more than others. However, it's still the idea that you have main subject headings. And these are what I think would be the main subject headings in APA format. So about yourself, what's your major? What are you learning about? Why did you choose this major? What do you think that you gained that makes you uniquely fit for the job market, for the organization that you find yourself in or will be finding yourself in? What personal interests do you have that would send you along this career path? This is an opportunity for you to start to do some prerequisite work to answering interview questions about what skills you have. Why should someone hire you? If you were taking the role of the other and you found yourself in a position within the organization that you want to be a part of, and you were asking your past self, what is it that you have that we want? Market yourself a little bit. That's what this first section is all about. Tell me what you've gathered, maybe some classes that were meaningful to you. What did you gain that makes you a good potential candidate? Now, this is acontextual of what will be the third section, so you're not looking to say things that you specifically gained for this organization. These are just skills that you have. So instead of saying how the skills apply to the organization, you'll talk about the raw skill itself. So instead of saying something like you have a set of communication skills that you feel would be perfect for company X, you'll leave it at, I have a tremendous set of communication skills that I feel like I learned a lot from in classes ranging from oral communication to interpersonal communication to organizational communication. And within each of those classes, then, you would give something that you learned. That's the way I'm talking about framing this first section, and that's a way to differentiate it from the second section of the paper. Second section of the paper is going to be about the organization. I don't know every organization in the world. I try to, but I can't possibly. And so what I want you to do in this section, this is a bit of the research section. This is probably where you'll be able to gather a lot of your source material from. And what I want you to look at is, what organization did you select? Tell me a little something about them. How many people do they employ? Where are they located? What drew you to this organization? Was there something that's in their mission statement? Is there something based on their location? Tell me a little bit about the history of the organization. This shouldn't be a research project where you tell me the history of the organization. Just tell me enough about the history of the organization so that I understand contextually what it is that you'll be appealing to in the third section. This is probably the most important thing that's in this section. What entry-level position would you be qualified to do? Please do not imagine yourself as becoming the president or CEO of an organization immediately. I'm thinking you're going to select an organization and select a pathway that as soon as you've got your college degree, you can walk into and be qualified for. So you need to do enough research on this organization to find what entry-level positions are. If there are no entry-level positions that you're qualified for, this might not be a good organization for this project. I want you also to take into consideration, if you still have some of your college experience left, what are steps for improvement or advancement that you can follow? What can you do to try to set yourself on a better path to get ready for the organization? Notice that sections 1 and 2 are all prerequisite work to get you to section 3, which is merging the two. So you now have decided what organization you want to be a part of. You've also decided and explained to me what skills that you have. Now I want you to identify and explain extracurricular opportunities on campus that would or have helped you prepare for this opportunity. I want you to talk about specifics that you learned in classes that fit with this organization. What I'm hoping you see is some kind of congruity between the education that you're receiving for the degree that you're paying for and the opportunity with an organization that you want to be a part of. If there isn't a clear congruity between those two, then that's a problem. Here's some examples of papers that have worked really well in the past. People who are getting an aviation management degree have went on to say, I want to work for X airline. And they've talked about how the things that they've learned in their aviation management degree uniquely fit them to that position and to move up into those ranks. I've also seen people who have communication degrees talk about how they want to work in the human resources departments in different companies of which they have a particular bend one way or the other to talk about. What I want you to do in that merging the two sections is start to see how the things that you've done and the skills that you possess come together to make you a uniquely good candidate for this potential organization. This is where you sell yourself. This is where you put the things that the organization wants in contrast with the things that you have and make the case for me that you would be a good fit for this organization. Extending the metaphor, if I was sitting in an interviewing position and I asked you, so why do we want to hire you to this specific organization? This is where you really sell it. This is where you give the heartfelt speech in every movie that you've seen that involves an interview. You tell me why it is that you fit with Southwest Airlines, why you should get to work for the Palace of Auburn Hills. I don't care what you pick. I try to leave it open-ended. It's as vague as it can be with still being as specific as it needs to be. Vague enough so that you can choose any type of organization you want, so that it fits people who have various majors, but specific enough so that you're still doing a set of things that are gradable, comparable, that make sense with the purpose of the paper. So, What am I looking for? A 5 to 6 page, double space, 12 point, Times New Roman, 1-inch margin paper. You should be working in APA. Had a lot of people over the years tell me they want to work in MLA, so I've become a little more relaxed on this particular requirement. If you really want to do MLA and MLA fits with your major, I'll just let you do MLA. I've learned enough of the style to be able to grade and critique it. However, I would prefer APA. If you know both styles or you know multiple styles, APA is what I would prefer you to do your papers in. Gave you a rubric at the end. What I'm hoping is that this identifies all the points that you want and that will get you up to 100, and it will hopefully guide you in the writing process as to what I'm going to be looking for and evaluating. I don't like to give you any curveballs. I don't want you to be confused about any of the assignment's finer points. This is as specific as I can get it. However, if you have any questions, if you're struggling to find a subject, if you're struggling in any section of the paper, don't hesitate to contact me. I've been pretty quick with the emails that I've gotten so far, and I think that based on your reaction to them, we've had some pretty good rapport for the people who've asked questions. Don't hesitate to let me know if I can be of any assistance or direction in this matter. So here's the paper. That's what I believe to be necessary for you to know in order to be successful. If you have any questions or you need anything else from my end, I look forward to speaking to you. Take care.